But I first off wanted to kick things off. I would like to turn things over to Kathy Fitzpatrick and Emily Reed to take. Remember, like the top 10 David Letterman top 10. We're gonna do that, but less funny. And we're going to do the top 10 things about Gorge Transit. Kathy is the mobility manager for Mid-Columbia Economic Development District since 2017, where she has worked with the 5 providers in the Gorge to coordinate and create the regional transit strategy. And Emily Reed, my friend, is a Gorge native with over 20 years of marketing and community building experience, big time community builder there, who has been helping to raise awareness of the Gorge Pass. Yes, Gorge Pass. Woohoo! Gorge Pass! Since 2021. So without further ado, please come on up and regale us with the Transit Top 10.
Thought we would give a bit of an overview. Can we actually keep the lights up a little bit so we can see people, because you are key in this. And we just thought we'd kick it off. We're going to keep it super short, but today is about Gorge Transit, and we wanted to give you kind of some grounding of what's happened with Gorge Transit, and then we're going to go deep for the rest of the time.
All right, so we'll start it off where it all began, which is with the 5 different transportation providers in the Gorge. Klickitat County, Skamania County, Hood River County, Wasco County, and Sherman County all have transit systems, and all together creates the Gorge Transit System. So this was 25 years ago when they all came together. They were all serving our older adults and our people with disabilities with rides that we call Dial-A-Ride, which is kind of like a taxi service. You have to call ahead and reserve a ride. It's generally for very specific purposes, to get to medical appointments, for example. So, but the providers all saw the need out there that there were so many people who needed to get to work, to play, to school, and they didn't have a ride. So it was their dream and their goal to create this Gorge Transit System. So in 2011, so they got together in 25 years ago, 2011, Skamania County Transit started it off with the first fixed route service all the way to Vancouver, Washington. Then Hood River, Columbia Area Transit kicked it off with a fixed route. And today we have this wonderful connected system that we know now. All right, so we didn't just put buses on the road. We created a one place where people could go to, our riders could go to learn all about the system, so figure out schedules and how to connect to other buses. We created the Gorge Pass, the Gorge Transit Pass. So all 4 providers that are providing the fixed route services have an annual pass. It's 12 months from the time of purchase, and it costs $40 for the entire 12 months. Yes. All right, so we work together. So we do a lot of coordination on our public outreach, and which is in person. We're at all of our community events. We're providing seasonal services, like to Dog Mountain and up to Mount Hood, and social media posts and that sort of thing. Then a few years ago, we got together and we decided that we needed a roadmap for our future. So with all of our community partners, all of you, we created the Regional Gorge Transit Strategy. And that is what we've been working on for the last 2 years.
And there's copies out in the lobby.
All right, so coordination. This is what coordination actually looks like. Definitely our first priority is that coordination, because that allows us to do more with what we have. These are all of the buses arriving at the same time at a specific spot, which is the Columbia Area Transit Center. And so they'll all arrive at the same time. Their riders will get off. Those who need to transfer to a different bus will be able to transfer immediately, and then off they go to their different routes in the gorge.
This is the sexiest slide you will see all day.
And I do have to say, to get there, it sounds easy, but when you are coordinating everybody's routes and times, let me tell you, it was a lot of months of blood, sweat, and a lot of tears, and maybe a little bit of screaming. But it wasn't easy. So our riders, of course, they're who we're all about. Our ridership, so last year we provided 126,000 rides, and our ridership is going up. We really have rebounded from the pandemic slowdown in 2020, and our ridership is just increasing. And it's because of all of the outreach, all of the coordination that we're doing, helping people to learn how to ride the bus, and then making our services better, a lot better.
Okay, equity fund. So one of the things that we did, oh, by the way, you're going to be quizzed, so you might want to be paying attention, just warning you. The equity fund is something that we were able to introduce, which allows us to give $1 of every Gorge pass into the equity fund, which allows us to give passes to folks with who need them. So that's been a brilliant thing. We also have a buy one, give one for employers, and that's amazing as well. So we are able to give it to veterans and work through our partners, many of you here, to get those distributed and into the right hands. Number 4, we're going to go really fast. Dogs. You can take your dogs on the bus. All they need is a leash. Go for a ride. 5 is bikes. You'll hear more about this later, but bikes you can take on all of the buses in the Gorge. They're a beautiful marriage. As you know that, well, maybe you don't know, but the bike path that goes from Portland all the way to the Dalles is very close to being done, just a few more $1 billion. And it will be complete, and it will make a huge difference for the Gorge. Bicycling is a $133 billion industry every year, and bringing that to the Gorge in this lovely, sustainable transit way is going to be wonderful. We have a map that talks about or shows you all of the paths that you can get to from bus and all sorts of ways that you can marry those two. 6 is accessibility. We could talk for hours about this one, so we're going to keep it short, but basically all of the buses are ADA set up, and all of the drivers are trained. So this is a beautiful way to have people get around, whether they're visiting or local. And we have a new website in the Gorge called Accessible Gorge that allows you to look ahead and see many, many restaurants, trailheads, etc. So you can look and see what the situation is with the bathrooms, the tables, etc. before you arrive. And transit's a huge piece of this, and we got an award, yay. Number 7, cost is super interesting. This is the average cost of ownership each year for your car, for our cars, is $10,000. This is based on AAA's annual study. And this is how it breaks down. This is where the costs come in. So every year, this isn't just a one-off, this is every year we pay $10,000. So 72 cents a mile. Based on 72 cents a mile to drive every time from the Dalles to Hood River, or from here to the Dalles, is $31 round trip. That's how much it costs every single time. Or you could take the bus for $1. Hood River to the airport, for example, from here to the airport and back is $84 to drive, and that does not include long-term parking. By bus, it's $20, or if you have the pass, depending on how many times you go, it pays for itself in 2 times. Commuting, okay, here's a commuting example. There's a bunch of them, we just grabbed some. So commuting from Stevenson to Vancouver, this is where it really adds up. So if you are commuting, which most folks in most towns in the Gorge commute out or in, it's a great way to kind of cut costs, because by car, it's $13,000 a year to go every weekday between Stevenson and Vancouver. So that's a lot of savings that you can have if you take transit. 8, we have lots of great programs, too many to show, but basically we have downtown passes for folks who work downtown. We have fun things for kids who aren't at the driving age and can get around. We have really cool programs coming out this summer in the Oregon side. We're trying to get them over to Washington. This is where the thing is of the funding and the counties, and this is why these people are heroes. And number 9, speaking of heroes, I'm going to have these two stand up. They didn't know that, but I'm going to have those two. We have Eve and Sarah, who are travel trainers. Can you see their capes? Because these guys are out into the community, helping all sorts of folks, all the different ways, learning how to read a schedule, learning how to coordinate, how to transfer, learning how to ride the bus. If you do not know how to get from where you are now to where you want to go, talk to them because they will dial you in. They are amazing. Number 10, finally, is outdoor rec, because we live in a beautiful world. We live in the most beautiful place in that beautiful world. And we are able to give access to places where you don't need a car. And in fact, we will hear more about how great it is to go by bus a little bit later, because we can go skiing. We can go to the front door of the skiing without having to park and take the shuttle and then do that. And we go to the front door of Multnomah Falls, the front door of Dog Mountain, and it saves so much. We're going to hear about this later, but it is a beautiful, beautiful thing to marry the bus with these trailheads, but also just to get out. So that is our top 10. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you were paying attention. Was not kidding about being quizzed. Oh, we're going to end with a writer's video. This is very short. Sparing you the long one.
That bus over there.
Hold on, this is actually blowing my mind that it goes to Multnomah Falls.
It goes all over the gorge.
I had no idea that coming up to Hood River would be so accessible.
It's totally affordable.
Less driving. It's been great.
I don't have to worry about parking.
I have a little bus and I can take the bus home and be safe. No worries.
It was nice to have it all kind of planned out for me.
I thought it was pretty easy.
The Gorge Pass is the best thing since sliced bread.
If you don't have one, get one.